There's been this weird shift lately. Artists are moving away from the polished, focus-grouped, label-approved album rollout and going back to that raw, spontaneous mixtape energy. Projects like J. Cole's Might Delete Later, Clipse's Let the Lord Sort Them Out, GNX's latest drops, and even Yeat's new 2025 album all carry that same rebellious spirit. They sound different. They feel different. They break every rule labels have spent the last decade trying to enforce, and labels absolutely hate it. Back in the 2000s, mixtapes were everything. That's how rappers built their name. No budget, no marketing plan, just beats and hunger. Artists like 50 Cent, Lil Wayne, and Gucci Mane used mixtapes to dominate the streets. They'd flood the charts with freestyles, remixes, and whatever, and fans couldn't get enough. Mixtapes were this messy, raw, but they worked. They built hype faster than any official release ever could. Then streaming came along and everything got sterilized. Spotify playlists replaced street cred, and labels learned how to turn music into data. Mixtapes didn't fit into that system. They didn't make enough money, didn't chart properly, and didn't serve the marketing machine. Hey, so they faded out, at least publicly. But lately, that old energy has crept back. Artists are fed up with waiting a year and a half for a label rollout. They're tired of lawyers nitpicking samples, of A&Rs debating marketability. So when you've got a fan base ready and ideas overflowing, what do? You drop a mixtape. J. Cole's Might Delete Later is a perfect example. That project didn't feel like a polished Dreamville rollout. It felt like Cole just saying, here, take this, I'm in a creative zone. It had that off-the-cuff spark, like he made it last week and didn't overthink it. It wasn't about commercial singles or chart placements, it was about expression. That's pure mixtape energy. Same with Clipse. Their comeback, Let the Lord Sort Them Out, is grimy, unapologetic, and clearly not designed for radio, but perfectly made for the culture, not for algorithms. Then you've got GNX, who's been quietly building a cult following, and let's not forget that there's Yeat. Earlier this month, he dropped Dangerous Summer, a surprise 11-track EP that completely flipped the industry conversation. It features names like FKA Twigs, Don Toliver, Saw Baby, and of course Benny X. But despite that star lineup, there was no traditional rollout, no deluxe edition, and zero label coordination. Yeat just dropped it out of nowhere. The artwork, shot by Harmony Korine, features live alligators and surreal imagery perfectly matching the chaotic, off-kilter energy of the music itself. The lead single set the tone, and that's the point. Dangerous Summer feels like Yeat reclaiming control of his art. Less polished, more instinctive. Fans and critics are already calling it the bridge to his rumored upcoming album, A Dangerous Life, but for now, it stands as his most unpredictable release yet. It's raw, chaotic, and unfiltered. The exact kind of project that reminds labels just how little control they actually have when an artist decides to move independently. Labels, of course, hate that. Mixtapes are bad business for them. When an artist releases something independently or outside their contract's album count, the label doesn't get their usual cut. No planned marketing, no brand deals, no endless deluxe editions, just music, unmonetized, unpredictable, and unapproved. Labels thrive on order, they love schedules, data, and predictable revenue. Mixtapes are pure anarchy. They throw off the analytics, they make accounting messy, and worst of all, they remind artists that they can actually survive without the machine. For years, labels have convinced artists that they need them for reach, visibility, strategy, distribution, but in 2025, that argument doesn't hit the same. An artist with a few million followers can drop a project directly on YouTube or SoundCloud and go viral overnight. No press release required, and that's terrifying for corporations built entirely around control. Here's the kicker though. A lot of contracts don't count mixtapes or free releases toward your album obligations. So if you owe your label 3 albums and you drop a mixtape on your own, that doesn't count. But artists are playing chess now. They're blurring the line intentionally. They're dropping fully mixed, mastered, stream-ready projects and just calling them mixtapes. It's technically legal, but creatively freeing. It's the ultimate loophole. You can release your best work and still tell your label, nah bro, that wasn't the album. Cole did it, Drake's done it, Future's done it, and now newer artists are following that playbook. It's rebellion disguised as nonchalance, and labels can't stop it without looking like villains. So what's the industry doing in response? Tightening contracts, adding clauses that say artists can't release anything publicly without approval, extending re-recording bans so that you can't re-release old material for decades. All because they're scared. They saw what Taylor Swift did, reclaiming her masters by re-recording her albums, and they don't want that happening again. They're basically locking every door before artists even think of leaving. But here's the thing. Mixtapes fit the modern world better than albums do. Attention spans are microscopic. The music cycle moves at the speed of TikTok. Artists can't afford to wait a year to drop something. A mixtape gives them freedom to move quickly, to stay relevant, to experiment without asking permission. You want to test a weird sound? Drop it as a mixtape. You want to share songs your label won't clear? Throw them on YouTube. You want to keep momentum between albums? Drop a pack on SoundCloud. Fans eat that up because it feels authentic. It's not overproduced or sanitized, it's just real. And that's what's making mixtapes cool again. The format isn't just about rap anymore either. Pop artists are starting to release demo tapes, R&B singers are dropping sessions, indie bands are calling their mixtapes archives. Everyone's trying to get that same raw, unpolished feeling back because people are tired of perfect. They want real emotion, even if it's messy. Mixtapes deliver that. They're anti-algorithm music in an algorithmic world. Looking ahead, this comeback is only going to grow. Labels will try to co-opt it to create official mixtapes under their own umbrella, but it won't feel authentic. Artists will keep pushing boundaries, surprise drops will become normal again, platforms like SoundCloud, Bandcamp, and YouTube might reemerge as the creative battlegrounds for real music, and maybe, just maybe, the word mixtape will finally lose its outdated stigma. It won't mean cheap or unofficial, it'll mean free, because that's what this whole movement is really about. Freedom. Labels spent years turning art into spreadsheets. Mixtapes remind artists and fans that music doesn't have to be strategic. It can just exist. It can be impulsive, experimental, chaotic, and the second artists realize they don't need permission, the entire system starts to shake. So yeah, mixtapes are back, and the suits hate it, but honestly, that's the best part. Because when music gets messy again, it usually means something real is about to happen. Chaos is back in the game, and I'm here for it.